Started about 3 years ago when we started doing our research into the space and really doing the due diligence on the behind of what is NDIS. We didn't know the difference between an SDA and SIL provider at that point. We started really diving into walking through the homes, trying to get an understanding of what the NDIS was meant to really achieve at the end of the day, and that is to provide people living with high care needs with quality housing. And there just was nobody in the space doing it. It was really important to us as a company to make sure that we provided safe, well-functional homes for the participants.
And we're here at one of Kerry's homes now, and it's beautiful. I mean, I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but you built up to the bulkhead.
Yes.
And most homes that you buy off plan, they don't care about that level of attention, and you really, I can see it's really evident, and you see the bench tops. I guess what everybody wants to know is, you know, you're a provider, you're a consultant that works in the NDIS space, you're experts, and you advise the builders where to build. Is that accurate?
That's true, yes. So we work really closely with a provider panel, an SDA, registered SDA provider panel, that became blatantly apparent that we needed to do that right from the start, where we consulted with the carers and the people who are actually going to live in these homes about the design and about what they actually needed in the home and how we were going to make that come to fruition with an excellent panel of builders, both here in Victoria, in South Australia and in Tasmania.
So that's interesting that you mentioned that. So really, you're the conductor in the orchestra.
Yes, we are essentially the design and compliance firm. So we'll consult and get the design correct, and then we'll have it certified as well. It's guaranteed to be well within compliance, and we issue the compliance certificate right on the front end when they sign their build contract.
So this is the other terminology I wanted to run by with you. So you're provider-led.
Yes.
Explain to everybody what that means, because that's a really interesting part of your processing, and this really is the main reason why I'm here. So go through that a little bit with me.
Essentially, when it comes to this product, we realized very, very early on that it's so multifaceted and there are so many different parts to it. You have a beautiful home, but without the investor, this doesn't exist. But on the other side of it, without the participant, the investors aren't going to buy it either. So we really did need to come at it from both sides and ensure that the home stacks up and is feasible and has quality inclusions and in fittings and is in an area close to amenities that not only suits the capital growth and is great for the investor, even as a normal investment outside of an SDA home, it ticks all of the boxes. But then from the SDA standpoint, we needed to make sure that this home was perfect for the participant as well. We worked really closely with a targeted, very specialised set of SDA providers who are great at what they do and could advise us and work really closely on the floor plan and just ensure that the providers are telling us where they need the homes, what category of homes they need. And that we could hit it from both sides.
See, that's critical. You see, this is what makes this whole experience really unique for the purchaser. So Kerry's company are making sure that you're getting compliance. And I work with government. I've done a lot of deals with government, right? And if there is no compliance, the government are not going to attribute any funds towards it, because you've got to remember that money is public money. So you get the compliance done on the front end with the architectural drawings, and then you run the compliance all the way through the build process. That's accurate, isn't it?
That's true, yes. So we have our NDIS assessor who comes in at the front end and will certify the designs and provide the SDA certificates to the investor, but also do the inspections throughout the build as well as at handover. So you get your as-built inspection as well as enrolment with the NDIA.
See, that's amazing. So you get to the end, and then who comes in and does the final inspection? Is it the SDA that does the final inspection?
The SDA assessor. So he does the assessment on the original design, will come through, make sure that the builder is accurate in building to compliance and to grade, even down to where the power points are sitting and the fact that they have the right utilities inside. And then after that inspection, the as-built inspection, once it's completed, come through and make sure that it's to code as well before he signs off on the certificate and enrolls it with the NDIA and then hands that over to the selected SDA provider.
So So from completion, how long does that process take? Is it a 4-week period? Is it a 2-week period? How does that manage at the end?
For assessment,
Yeah.
so that happens in conjunction. ISDA assessor will work with the builder and come through as soon as it's completed, and we have that within 7 to 14 days.
See, isn't that brilliant? It's because they have these really close-knit associations with the builder, so nothing's actually hanging out in limbo. It's done immediately. And what about tenant placement? From completion and you get the final certification, in your experience, how long is it taking for the property to be tenanted?
So that is another credit to our relationship with the builder, because having this close relationship with the builders means that our placement team can bring providers and bring participants through up to 3 months prior to build completion. So we have access to the homes where we wouldn't normally with a normal builder. They won't let you walk through.
Right,
we make sure we go through all the safety checks, but then we can allow people to come and get a feel for the area, make sure that they have the right supports in the area and can be enrolled in the home as soon as 2 weeks after handover, and then just go through the process with the SDA provider.
That's, that's all of it. The amount of conversations I've had, because there are a lot of car wrecks out there within the NDIS space, and really what you've done is, and for me, it's all about mitigating risk, and as an organisation, that's what you do for the investors that are out there. You're starting to build in Tasmania and South Australia.
Yes, that's correct.
Are we going to see quite a bit of product come from you in those 2 different states?
I hope so. We are in very close liaisons with the providers on the ground in both states. We've been very active in the conferences and the SDA events that have been going on, and it's only due to the demand and people literally clawing at me to get into the states that we've started to build there. We've built relationships with really reputable builders that have been around for decades, and we're at the process now where we're laying our first slabs both in Tasmania and in South Australia. And we just can't build them fast enough.
That's brilliant. That's great. Thank you so much for your time and for
Anytime.
sharing this with us. I really mean that. Appreciate
No worries.
it.
Thank you.